Goldman Sachs calls it the new gasoline. The Economist says it's the world's hottest commodity. And Bloomberg goes so far as to say, get ready for life without oil. An unusual form of fuel is promising to completely upend the world's energy mix. Already, it's powering so much in our daily lives. Everything from smartphones, laptops, and tablets, to cars, power tools, and even grid energy. And just like oil, it's an essential ingredient in products like pharmaceuticals. But now, thanks to a series of moves by billionaires Elon Musk and Warren Buffett, this new fuel is promising to power the car of the future, meeting no less than 70% of our future energy needs. And just as Henry Ford's Model T made oil the dominant form of energy on the planet, so too will electric cars, buses, trucks, and planes catapult this to the top of the global power mix. What is this fuel? Industry insiders know it as white oil. You might know it better as lithium. And it's no secret the lithium market is booming right now. But what you probably haven't heard is that most lithium investments are simply duds. Sure, they may make you a few percentage points, but they won't make you the real 100-bagger returns. I'll explain why in a moment. Why there's one, and only one play to get rich on the lithium boom in 2016. And why this $2 firm could deliver 100-fold gains this year, even as its competitors flop. In fact, my readers and I have already taken home 1,667% gains on this lithium play in the last few months. Good enough to turn every $10,000 we invested into over $166,000 in the first quarter of this year. Now, as you're about to see, I think we could see the exact same results again, or even better, all before the year closes out. We have a lot of pretty big energy market legends to get us there. For instance, its founder has made himself and investors rich on a lithium buyout before, not to mention at least 3 other massive 10,000% wins he's delivered for his shareholders in the energy markets. Another one of its founders is a billionaire with close ties to Bill and Hillary Clinton, a political insider who gives this company a direct line to the White House. He's also an energy market superstar, responsible for generating mind-blowing returns like 200,000%. That's good enough to turn just $1,000 into a $2 million retirement windfall on a single opportunity. Gains like these are how he made his billions, and made other investors rich with him. Will he do it again? And for you? You'll see why it's likely in just a moment. I'll also share with you my exclusive boots-on-the-ground footage of the company's operations, including its sites and my interviews with the execs. But first, in case you haven't heard about the lithium boom, let me give you the quick scoop. Lithium was overlooked and even unknown up until last year, but that's all changed. Elon Musk's Gigafactory and the new Tesla 3 rollout have put this sector on every big money investor's radar. Keep in mind, lithium already powers everything from smartphones to laptops, and supplies are already tight. Now take a look at this chart from the Department of Energy. It shows the red line, lithium demand, is now exceeding supply starting this year. So even with existing demand, prices must go up. There's no way they can't. Now get this. Elon Musk plans to build 500,000 Tesla 3s every year. That amount is already on pre-order. And to meet that goal, he says he will need the world's entire lithium supply, and he'll need it year after year. Take a look at this clip from his recent product announcement.
In order to produce 500,000 cars a year, we would actually need the same battery production. We basically need to absorb the entire world's lithium-ion production. That's why we are building the Gigafactory. These are the recent pictures of the Gigafactory.
That's astounding. Keep in mind, there were 1.4 billion smartphones sold last year, 194 million laptops, and 320 million tablets, and lithium powers them all. But just 1 year of the new Tesla 3's production will require all of that lithium and more. That's why Musk is now scrambling to dominate the lithium market. Without it, his $5 billion Gigafactory will go sideways, the new Tesla 3 will flop, and his investments will go up in smoke. In short, he'll pay virtually anything to get his hands on this fuel. So will Warren Buffett. The Oracle of Omaha has a multi-billion-dollar investment in Tesla's biggest rival, BID, a major electric car company that could potentially leapfrog Tesla. Now, I recommended BID several years ago when Buffett first bought into the company, and my readers saw pretty astounding gains of 391%. But here's the thing. The real money from electric cars will not come from Tesla, BID, or any other manufacturer. It will come from lithium instead, and one tiny stock in particular. You see, just like Tesla, BID will also need the world's entire lithium supply every single year. That's just to meet initial demand for its new battery-powered cars. So just like Musk, the world's greatest investor needs to dominate the supply of this fuel or risk losing a chunk of his net worth. But he won't let that happen, and he'll gladly pay whatever price to make sure of that. Now the two billionaires are at war for the world's tiny lithium supply. They're signing deals and buying mines, and in the process they've sparked a frenzy for this fuel. A frenzy that includes everyone from tech titans to billionaire investors, including Google, Apple, Samsung, Panasonic, Virgin Airlines mogul Richard Branson, and Chinese billionaire Zhe Yeding. Toyota, GM, Nissan, and just about every big automaker have joined the race. Big oil giant Total entered the market with a $1.1 billion buyout of a lithium company. The Department of Defense also depends on this fuel, and it has the first dibs on supply, all of which has sent lithium prices through the roof. Just at the end of last year, lithium was trading between $5,000 and $6,000 per ton. Now, some lithium contracts are selling in China for as high as $24,000 per ton, a 400% surge in recent months. And it's just getting started. In fact, Goldman Sachs expects lithium demand to surge 1,000% in the next few years. Now everybody is scrambling to get in on the ground floor. Just miles away from Tesla's Gigafactory, new miners are staking land in Nevada's booming lithium play, hoping to strike it rich on the white gold rush. And investors are flocking to lithium for home run gains. The lithium gold rush has reached such a fever pitch that Deutsche Bank has declared, "Welcome to the lithium-ion age." Yet few know the real ways to make a killing in this energy market. I'm talking about the kind of 100-bagger gains you only see from big energy supercycles like this. And for a good reason. There aren't many. Right now, a few big players monopolize the lithium supply. They're not pure plays with a lot of upside. And the others are just small timers with no real proven reserves. Sure, they may hand you a few percentage points as the lithium tide lifts all ships, but I don't expect much else out of them. Certainly no actual lithium production. And neither should you. That's why I stayed on the sidelines of this industry throughout most of 2015. But with the new developments from Musk and Buffett, I knew there were riches to be made. I just needed to find the most profitable way everyday investors could get a share. So I spent months combing the industry top to bottom. I put my boots on the ground, met with my energy industry contacts and government insiders. And out of the batch of stocks and rocks, I've identified one, and only one, real gem in this market. A tiny, $2 company that could allow you to ride the lithium surge for no less than 1,700% gains in 2016. Believe me, this play could mean the difference between walking away with some pocket change or building real wealth this year, the kind you can retire on instantly. Why am I so certain? Well, back when I identified this tiny play, went out to its mines, and met its company execs, it was only trading at 15 cents. What's more, you couldn't buy it on a single stock exchange. But after I saw its plan and savvy management, I sent a buy alert to my readers. I even gave them the in to buy it, the kind you can only get from having a contact, like me, with the company. Since then, we've watched it surge for storybook gains, from 15 cents to half a buck to $1.50, and now, as of this writing, it's reached as high as $2.53. That's no less than 1,667% gains in just 4 months. Good enough to turn a $10,000 stake into over $176,000. That's incredible. It's more than the average American earns in 4 years. And if you were a reader of mine and bought when I recommended it, you could have made it in just 4 months without an ounce of work. The mainstream financial media will tell you these gains are impossible. But when you spot resource booms like lithium, play them the right way and get in with the right companies, they're all but guaranteed. The incredible thing is, I don't think we're even close to finished. In fact, it may sound unbelievable, but I expect this tiny $2 company to reach no less than $34 in 2016. That's another 1,700% return, and within roughly the same time span. In short, I think we're about to repeat what we've already seen so far, which is why many of my readers are still loading up on as many shares as possible. Now, that bears repeating. We've seen 1,667% gains in 4 months, and we're expecting to do it again. That's over 17 times our money in just months. More than 99.99% of investors will never see those kinds of gains, and my readers and I are not selling. In fact, we're buying as many shares as we can. We want to build a legacy of wealth we can leave to our grandchildren. I truly believe this opportunity can deliver that. You'll get full details on this lithium opportunity in just a moment, including its name, company profile, and ticker symbol. But before I do, you should know this. We'll be the only ones making a real fortune in lithium. Some will buy the big players and make some nice pocket change, while most others will lose their shirts, and that's already starting to happen. Let me explain. When I was out in Clayton Valley, Nevada, America's lithium play, I talked to an old man, a guy who's handled these lithium properties and has done so since the 1970s. He basically stakes a claim on them and deals with the Bureau of Land Management. Then he leases his land packages to mining companies. Now, he knows this company's land package is rock solid and assured me its reputation. In fact, he said it's been historically known as lithium land in the area going back for decades. That didn't surprise me. After all, this Clay County land is only footsteps away from America's only operating lithium mine. In fact, it couldn't have a better position if we bought the mine itself. In just a moment, you'll see how this tiny $2 firm is sitting on prime lithium land like no other, not just in Nevada, but in the world's Saudi Arabia of lithium. Areas all proven, primed, and ready to go for production. But first, you need to know one critical thing. The company I've discussed is a lone wolf in a crowded market full of fakers. Turns out a whole lot of companies are going out to Nevada, staking land, or ordering land packages, land they know damn well doesn't have any lithium. For instance, I just read a press release from one new company that just optioned Fish Lake. But the lithium landman I talked to in Nevada, the one who's been doing this for decades, says that there is no lithium there. Another of the Me Too companies in Nevada isn't even in Clayton Valley. Its land is pasture. No lithium there. Another firm that recently got its name in the press and attracted investors may be flat out lying about its resource. I've heard it from several different sources now that it's including lithium deposits found in clay in its resource estimates. But here's the thing. All lithium has only been produced from salt brine or hard rock. No lithium has been produced from clay, ever. Yet companies like this are soaring on all the deserved interest over lithium. That's the potential problem with resource mania. That's the lithium boom story you're not being told. You can't just pick blindly and buy any little stock that has lithium in its name. That's what most investors do. Then, guess what? When it's revealed these companies are sitting on nothing but dirt, that they are nothing but con games, everyday investors lose their shirts. And the founders cash out before anyone figures it out, with no one getting rich but themselves. Unfortunately, I've seen it happen over and over again in my decade in the resource market. The rare earth metals and graphite booms were similar stories. Take Corp, for example. Investors got caught up in the hype of the rare earth boom story, sending its share price surging. Then, when the rare earth bubble burst and the company could no longer compete, they saw nearly all their money instantly vanish as shares fell from over $70 to a few pennies. I don't want that to be you. That's why you must be selective in these kinds of booms and carefully pick what you buy. You can't just rely on some analyst sitting behind a desk. They have no idea that a company like Corp isn't going to be able to make it, or that, in this current lithium boom, many of the players are sitting on land that's known to have zero lithium, or on quantities that aren't economic enough to be produced. You need boots on the ground to get that kind of information, which is exactly what I deliver and why I do it. That's the difference between getting rich on massive resource booms or watching your money disappear. Of course, our play's proven lithium land is not the only advantage it has in the market. And it's not the only reason why I'm so certain its shares will surge 100-fold. It has a whole lot more behind it, in fact. You see, the founder of this company is a legend in the energy markets. I call him the king of 10 and 100 baggers. That's because in past booms like uranium, potash, and yes, lithium, he started tiny companies with a few $1 million and then sold them to big names for billion-dollar price tags, making early investors filthy rich. Which brings me to my number one catalyst for 2016. 2016 catalyst number one, the big lithium buyout of 2016. This man has done it time and time again. For instance, he founded a uranium play called Energy Metals Corp with $10 million. 2 years later, he turned around and flipped it for $1.8 billion. That's an 18,000% return. Good enough to turn $10,000 into a staggering $1.8 million retirement nest egg. Shortly after, he once again made shareholders millions, doing the exact same thing with a company called Potash One. Again, in just 2.5 years, he was able to build and sell the asset, this time for $4.50 a share and all cash in November 2010. You get the picture. This guy is a genius at taking small sums of money and generating mega fortunes for himself and investors. Why is he so good? Because he buys the kinds of assets that larger competitors want, lays all the groundwork, and pretty much sets up these tiny companies as perfect buys for premium acquisitions, all while energy prices are shooting through the roof. This is how he generates 10 and 100 baggers again and again. He's even done it once before in lithium, taking a junior called Lithium One from 10 cents and merging it with an Australian company called Galaxy Resources for $1.55, a 15-bagger or 1,500% in 2.5 years. That's right, he's already helped investors turn $10,000 into $155,000 on lithium. And everything that's happening now shows me one thing. He's about to do it again, and with the stock I'm telling you about today. And because of the new developments with Elon Musk's Tesla Model 3, Warren Buffett, and the explosive race for the world's lithium supply, with demand skyrocketing by 1,000%, this time around, his home run win will be much bigger and more lucrative. But as incredible as all of that is, it's not the only reason I believe this company is such a sure thing multi-bagger. This time, it has an invaluable asset, a billionaire mining legend with strong ties to the Clintons going back 2 decades. Even though I doubt more than 1 in 1,000 Americans has ever heard of him, he's invested over $100 million in the Clinton Foundation and sits on its board of trustees. Bill and Hillary have borrowed his private jet no less than 25 times, and the powerful couple considers him a close family friend, which brings me to my second major catalyst that will ignite this tiny stock. 2016 catalyst number 2. Clinton Insider gives this company a direct line to the White House. Now, before I go any further, let me make something clear. I'm not talking about anything unethical or illegal. You may or may not like the Clintons, and even though she's still the heavy favorite, you don't have to be certain that Hillary is going to win the election. But here's the thing. This man is the company's insider at the top of political establishment, a priceless connection that could seriously aid their tiny firm. He owns the largest block of shares, and you can be certain of one thing. He wants to see the maximum return on his investment, and he'll make sure it happens. This man is also a superstar in the resource market, known for his Midas touch. That's how he generated his billion-dollar fortune, and made other investors rich in the process. For instance, he arranged the first funds for a tiny resource company, Diamond Fields International. The company was trading at just 10 cents a share when he got involved. Several years later, it traded at $200 before being bought out by the resource giant Inco in the biggest mining transaction of all time. A 2,000-fold return. Yes, a 200,000% gain. One of the largest returns ever seen in the market. You could have bought in for just $100 and seen a six-figure return. A $500 stake would have handed you $1 million windfall. And just $5,000 would have landed you a $10 million nest egg. No wonder why he made every single one of the early investors fantastically rich. He did it again with the uranium firm Eurasia, which he took from 10 cents to a $7.05 acquisition, a 7,000% gain. He also timed the gold market perfectly at the bottom in 2001 and started a tiny gold miner, one that would eventually be bought for $2 billion by Gold Corp. He's been the architect of countless resource successes, including well-known resource giants like Silver Wheaton and Uranium One, and he even once took a movie firm from teetering on bankruptcy to a $4 billion media giant. My point is, everything this guy does, every opportunity he touches, gets involved in, or helps fund, it never fails to make investors rich. And everything you've seen here today points to one unavoidable conclusion. This under-the-radar lithium opportunity is no different. In just a moment, you'll get full details on this explosive $2 firm, including its name, ticker symbol, and company profile. You'll see why it's positioned with optimal lithium resource plays and why a buyout is inevitable. All the details you need to get rich on the lithium boom in 2016 and beyond. But before I do, you need to know something critical. Why this tiny company could make or break Elon Musk's Tesla 3 rollout. Let me explain. 2016 catalyst number 3. Why Elon Musk has his eyes on this tiny $2 company. You see, just 4 giant companies right now control the world's lithium supply. Until now, if Musk wanted to buy it, he needed to deal with them and pay a ridiculously high price. But that's no longer the case. Dozens of tiny mining plays are staking claims on potential and proven reserves of lithium, and Musk is no idiot. You don't become a billionaire without knowing how to cut corners and make savvy deals. Right now, he's scouring the world of lithium players for the best potential producers, the kind that could get him a better price deal outside the control of the lithium cartel. And when you consider that our tiny lithium firm owns, indisputably, the largest lithium land package in North America, located just miles from Elon Musk's gigafactory in Nevada, 2 properties in Clayton Valley that border the only working lithium mine in North America, a 2.8 million ton lithium asset in the heart of Argentina's lithium triangle, the Saudi Arabia of lithium, and that its South American asset is already prepared and ready for production with the proven potential for 25,000 tons of lithium production annually, you can begin to see why Musk would be eyeing this tiny firm for his upcoming Tesla 3 rollout. But here's the thing. Whenever a junior emerges to threaten the Big Four lithium cartel, it doesn't stay around for long. The short story? It gets bought. And if it secures a contract with Tesla, and the evidence indicates it will, the lithium cartel will pay a pretty penny not just to secure this company's assets, but to ensure that Tesla has to come to it and pay the full market price of lithium. And considering the firm's 2 founders have an unparalleled track record of starting and selling companies just like this, just as the price of energy markets are surging and they can command huge buyout prices, all making their early investors rich, well, this is one of the most surefire and profitable situations I've seen in all my years in the resource markets. Remember, this tiny firm has already surged from 15 cents when I got my readers in to as high as $2.53, a 1,667% gain in a matter of several months. Now, a pullback has presented another perfect buy-in opportunity. It's just warming up. When these lithium giants begin a bidding war for this little company, shares could surge from $2 to $10 to $25 and beyond. Using history as a guide, the company's energy rainmakers could sell it for no less than $34, which means we're looking at another 1,700% gain moving forward, and likely in 2016. That's by no means the highest gain we could see. In fact, the firm's billionaire Clinton insider has started a miner for 10 cents and sold it for $200 in just a few short years. Could he sell this one for $200 too? It's possible, especially if the lithium market keeps raging like it's doing, and all evidence certainly points to that. Remember, Musk needs to absorb the entire world's lithium supply to fulfill his plans. Otherwise, he'll lose billions of dollars on his investment. The same for Warren Buffett. Bottom line, even with a 400% gain in the past few months, the lithium price has just begun to surge, and there's no time to lose. Musk has already begun production on the Tesla 3 and is desperate to get his hands on lithium. He's signing deals and contracts to secure the supply, and it's likely he'll do so with this company. The Big Four won't just sit around when that happens. They'll scramble over each other to stop Musk from sidestepping their monopoly. And there's only one way they can do that: pay a handsome price on a buyout deal. We already know our energy market rainmakers always get investors and themselves the most lucrative deal, often 100 times or more the current share price. And everyone who bought in on the ground floor will become fantastically rich, almost overnight. I want that to be you, which is why I've compiled all the details on this tiny company in my brand new lithium market research report. Lithium Rush Profits, 100 times your money on the only play for the lithium boom. And let me be clear, while there are all new fortunes to be minted in the lithium boom, if you know where to look and when to buy, it could mean the difference between losing your shirt or retiring wealthier than you ever dreamed in 2016. And I only know where to look because of my extensive boots-on-the-ground investigations. I go out to the mines, the deposits, the operations. I meet with the management, which is a crucial yet overlooked asset for any resource company. I see behind the scenes, pulling up the curtain on the quarterly earnings report. While traveling the world, I've combed the entire lithium sector from top to bottom, and this single pick is the cream of the crop, hands down. Again, I've included full details on this 100-bagger in my free report, Lithium Rush Profits, 100 times your money on the only play for the lithium boom. Here's a quick preview of what you'll get, including the company's name and ticker symbol, thorough company profiles based on first-hand analysis, including information you won't find on CNBC, in Forbes, or even in industry journals, off-the-cuff footage of its mines and operations, including my interviews with its executives, the analyst consensus you won't hear in press releases, but I hear from hobnobbing with industry insiders, and details of its assets, holdings, and upcoming dates for company reports. You get all of this absolutely free today, so you can position yourself now. All I ask is that you give my advisory research service, Early Advantage, an absolutely free test drive. Hi, I'm Nick Hodge. I'm an investment analyst here at Angel Publishing in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm also editor of Nick Hodge's Early Advantage, the resource for big profits from little-known breakthroughs and disruptive technologies in energy, electronics, technology, agriculture, and more. No sector is off limits. In just the past few years, I've brought investors massive, rapid-fire gains from companies in multiple sectors, such as those you're seeing on the screen now. The list goes on and on. I banked dozens of multi-baggers and hundreds of double-digit wins over my career. We'd be here quite some time if I listed them all out here. But know this, off of just one of my recommendations, you could make the type of money that could change your portfolio, or even your life. How do I know? It's already happened. One guy by the name of Dan Leopold wrote to me about one of my recent recommendations.
I made over $100,000 with you on the first run a year or so ago.
I've had to redact the stock name there because it's an active play that's still making people money, and it wouldn't be fair to those currently holding positions. Donald McMillan shared his story too.
I did very well on 2 picks. Pretty lucky with a profit of $27,649.
And Anthony Raymond recently wrote me to say,
"This is the most profitable service in almost 10 years of trading. Pure and simple. 3 picks have been triple-digit winners for me. As a friend of mine who speaks broken English would say, thank you very big."
But my favorite is from Tom Donaldson, who made nearly $500,000 on a single trade.
Nick, my account is now over $450,000. Happy with the gain so far. Thanks.
So as you can see, I continually provide the potential for huge gains, and I can tell you this, it takes a lot of hard work and boots-on-the-ground research to maintain the success I've experienced. Whether it's flying out to California and speaking with an aquaculture expert to get the inside details on a world-changing medical discovery, or taking a tour with Canadian CEOs to uncover the newest intelligence in the world of energy, or even interviewing Montel Williams in the hopes of discovering the next 1,000% gainer in the market. There's not a stone I won't turn over if I think there's money to be made on the other side. You already know the best way to make a lot of money is to get in the game early, before a company makes news with a major discovery in the mining or energy sector, the creation of some disruptive technology, or breakthroughs in agriculture or health. I'll go to any extent I feel necessary to make sure things are on the up and up before I recommend something other folks might put their money into. I don't simply sit behind a desk, stare at a computer screen, and pick a stock based on some arcane information from an annual report. That's for the no-talent hacks that think they know what they're doing, not me. I do the real research most analysts don't feel like doing, or can't afford to do. I've been in a 3-man helicopter over the Canadian wilderness, stood on the edge of 500-foot-deep mines, and attended $5,000 a seat conferences across the country, all in the name of securing the full stories behind the biggest wealth-creating opportunities in the world. You can even say I've hobnobbed with the financial elite. If you didn't already know, the other guy in that snapshot is John Paulson, American hedge fund guru and billionaire. We were both invited to a closed-door investment summit in Puerto Rico recently, and we had a nice little chat. It's pretty obvious these things don't happen for analysts who refuse to leave the office or get out of bed. But I do it because it's what I love to do. It's what I've always loved to do. Giving readers like you the early advantage on any money-making or money-saving opportunity available long before the rest of the market catches on. That's what early advantage is all about. I've been on the cutting edge for years, discovering major life-changing, money-making opportunities that other financial institutions don't cover. Just to give you a better idea, before 3D printing made the news, I told my readers about a company called Organovo. It develops 3-dimensional human tissue printing technology to create tissue on demand for research and surgical applications. Since then, the stock has surged over 570%. Last October, I set up an exclusive deal for my readers with a small Canadian medical marijuana firm. This allowed us to buy in literally days before the company's IPO. In just 8 days, the company's shares took off for 211% gains, and we booked the profits. That's more than triple our money in just a week's time. And I've closed, in total, more than 210 double and triple-digit winners on my stock recommendations alone by locating little-known, wealth-building opportunities before the masses knew about them. My research comes with no risk and absolutely no obligations. For 60 days, you'll have the chance to profit from every single one of the winning investments I've shared exclusively with my followers without risking a single dime. I want you to see for yourself how potentially profitable early advantage really could be for you. Simply put, the minute you claim your copy of Lithium Rush Profits, 100 times your money on the only play for the lithium boom, you'll immediately receive 60 full days of unrestricted access to the following. Quick Profit e-alerts. Get flash updates on the latest money-making scoops from my profit alerts. These obscure recommendations that cannot wait a minute will be delivered straight to your inbox seconds after they're written, as profitable opportunities could surface tomorrow. Regular portfolio updates. You'll know exactly what's happening with each profit-making play in your model portfolio, including regular updates and any news that will send the stock soaring further or when to sell for maximum profits. The members-only Early Advantage website. Your gateway to my secure online platform for members only with my no-nonsense research reports, commentary, picks, and current portfolio. You'll even get fast-track commentary on how to get the most out of my service. Research videos. You'll have full access to my boots-on-the-ground research videos when I travel around the country investigating companies, visiting their facilities, and talking to CEOs. That way, you can follow my travels from your living room. Within minutes of signing up, you'll receive an email with your password to the Early Advantage website, your ultimate gateway to unheard-of profits in cutting-edge sectors ahead of the crowd. So how much does all this cost? The short answer is nothing. I've convinced my publisher to give you a special deal, one that we've never offered before. Now, I've seen research services like Early Advantage sell for $10,000 or more. There are also analysts on Wall Street who pay thousands for these small audience subscriptions. Some of these analysts work in hidden niches of the market, making millions per year to research new ways to play upcoming trends. To them, services like mine are a leg up on the competition, and they would happily pay $10,000 or more per year, since it's really a fraction of the cost some professionals shell out for research like this. But even though I could see this service going for that much, I know it would be difficult for everyday investors to participate at such a high price. So I asked myself, what's the absolute minimum I could ask people to pay for this service? What's reasonable? What's fair considering the fundamental value? After all, Angel Publishing and the Outsider Club are in the publishing biz, and we have to keep the lights on here. That, and many of the companies I recommend with this investment strategy require deep investigation. That last part means I have to travel out to work sites, talk to the geologists and engineers, rub elbows with the people on drill decks and in core shacks, and meet with the CEOs and other executives. So after crunching the numbers, I finally settled on a price of $1,599 per year for this service. At least, that will be the regular price of this service moving forward. It's easy to understand why. One single recommendation could easily pay for your entire subscription. For example, one of my followers, Chris G., recently sent me this note.
Thanks, Nick. I grabbed a quick 36% gain today. That'll take care of this year's subscription price.
Another of my followers, who wishes to remain anonymous, chimed in.
I just renewed Early Advantage, made $6,000 in one play, so my membership is more than paid for itself. Keep them coming.
And Donald M. said he made a profit of $27,649 last year. That's enough to pay for 17 years of my research. Todd S. is up a bit more, saying,
Thanks to Early Advantage, I'm planning to retire a multi-millionaire.
Given these kinds of gains, I'm sure you'll agree $15.99 is a bargain. But you won't have to pay that. As one of my invited subscribers, I'm prepared to offer you the entire Early Advantage subscription for just a fraction of the cost. In fact, you'll pay 50% less than others pay for 12 months of my profit alerts. That's a huge discount off the normal price. Simply click the subscribe now button below to see your final pricing. I truly believe this lithium boom play is the single best opportunity I've discovered in 2016. I want to make absolutely sure you don't miss out on your chance to profit from it. But there's no telling how long this offer will be open, especially considering that the company is small now, but could be hitting the mainstream soon. Even if we can at some point reopen this offer, it will likely only be to a handful of people and will probably come with the full price tag. It's a truly unique opportunity, because when I release my next alert, you could be up and running on your own path to becoming, well, much better off financially. Subscribe now by clicking the button below to start receiving your profit alerts each month. You're minutes away from starting. You simply cannot afford to not join my research service immediately. Click the subscribe now button below to receive my latest alert, and you could be on your way to riding the biggest gains of your life. And if you're still not convinced, you have 60 days to decide if my brand new strategy is really right for you. You have my personal guarantee, my keep everything and risk nothing double guarantee. You see, I stand behind every piece of advice, insight, and recommendation I make with 100% confidence. Your complete satisfaction is guaranteed, or your money back. So I want you to go ahead and take a full 60 days to have a good look at every breakout company I've uncovered. And then, if for any reason you're not totally thrilled, just tell us to send your money back and we'll promptly refund every penny. No questions asked. You'll get all the details about the Lithium Explorer primed to soar with 100 bagger potential. all the exclusive information on the members-only Early Advantage website, all the reports and investment guides, all the recommendations, all the articles and investing tips. And if you join me today, I will give you access to 3 bonus reports, absolutely free. 50 times your money on the biggest medical breakthrough since the polio vaccine. The Golden Land Bank, score 3,000% plus gains on the trade of the decade. The third supercycle, how to grab 10,000% profits from the coming uranium boom. Some folks have shelled out $7.99 for each of these reports, but you won't pay a single cent for them. All 3 bonus reports are yours free when you agree to test drive Early Advantage for 60 full days starting right now. The intel in just one of these special briefings could easily pay for your membership many times over. And they're yours to keep, no matter what your final decision is. But you must act fast. As you've seen, the lithium supercycle is heating up right now. The opportunity is hot. The tiny $2 company leading the charge is on the verge of explosive, life-changing profits. Already, my readers have seen their money surge 1,667% in just 4 months, and we're just getting started. This year, a potential deal for Elon Musk's Tesla 3 rollout looks like it's already in the bag. When that happens, the lithium giants will enter a fierce bidding war, one that will send its shares to $10, $25, $34 and beyond, all in no time flat. Time is of the essence. So you've seen the charts. You've seen the proof. You've seen the wealth and the money. Here's what I suggest you do right now. Click the link below to get started right away. You'll be able to review everything on the next page before your order is final. And remember, this offer is risk-free for 60 days. If you don't like what you see, call me and cancel. But if you're still watching, I don't think you'll need to worry, because I seriously doubt you'll be canceling, especially when you see what I've prepared for you. So go ahead and start your own path to wealth. Remember, your opportunity for incredible wealth could start immediately with my next alert. I urge you not to delay. I likely won't be able to offer this amazing deal to anyone else after this initial offer expires. I look forward to the wealth we'll make together. Click the link in the description below to get started.